pretty excited about getting some work done on some cars.
Okay, not your balls.
No, yeah. No,
Well, that's a side project.
Yeah. It's scheduled, so
yeah. As long as there's no like while you're in there's with those.
Some while you're in there.
Right. Just it is what it is, you know.
What's the Miata status? Where you at on that?
It runs great. It drives great. The injectors made all the difference that I thought it would. I need to turn the idle down a little bit. I'm pretty confident that it was just messed with because it was getting fuel dumped in it, and they were trying to raise the idle up so that it would continue to run.
Does that have like
So it's
an
at, like-
actual like idle adjustment screw?
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy.
It's on the top of the throttle body, and it's super easy to adjust. I just haven't opened the hood to do it because I've kind of been okay with it. It's like a 1700 RPM idle, so it's not wild, but it's a little high.
That's like half the rev range of an early Cummins. So
yeah, but it's not much when you have a 72 or 7300 RPM breadline. So, but I was kind of letting it mellow out because it started low after I did the injectors, and it worked its way up to like almost 2000, and it's dropped itself back down to about 1700. And I wanted to wait until it stayed somewhere steady before I started adjusting it. And it seems like it's pretty steady there for the last few times I've driven it. So
that's fair.
Now I will adjust it down a little bit. But I'm also going to probably this spring do the power steering delete, which Tyson keeps telling me I need to do anyway. And everybody says you got to do it. And then my power steering leaks everywhere. And so it's not so much to make it a faster, better handling, whatever everybody says is the reason. I just don't want it to leak anymore. And I feel like there's probably enough drag from a power steering pump on a 1.6 liter that I'll notice the difference. We'll see. But it's $0 in parts and a little bit of effort and a small belt replacement to do that. So
I don't have a ton of Miata experience, but in my other car experience, non-power power assisted racks are not my favorite thing. I've encountered a couple of those over my time that have been like, ooh, why would you do this?
Well, on the NA, it's the exact opposite. So you can depower the rack, and it actually has a faster response. And so it's like you can do pretty much, according to one guy, you could do Laguna Seca without taking your hands off the wheel. And you can do everything within a full turn lock to lock without having to adjust your hands at all. And the only difference between the rack is the ratio and a single divider on the power steering system. So like the power steering pressures on one side to turn one way and pressures on the other side to turn the other way. Well, when you abandon the rack or you abandon the power steering system, you abandon that part, you cap it, and you can essentially take the rack apart and remove that divider, and now you have none of the drawbacks. It's exactly the same system, only it has a different ratio. So to quote the internet, it's only better and all it takes is effort. And, so I'm going to do it mostly because I don't want it to leak in my garage anymore.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
One less thing.
So I know everything else will leak in the garage.
Yeah, one less thing to leak, you know.
Yeah. Haley's car leaks and the Jeep leaks and Miata leaks. And
I guess I'll give you the bright side from my perspective on your power steering leaks is just be thankful that it's not an old Audi power steering leak, because
that's fair.
The little tiny tin of power steering fluid is like $40.
Yeah.
So
you could probably get some Lucas oil.
Guess what issue I'm dealing with?
Oh no. Power steering matters a lot more in that because you got a heavy nose. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's probably just gonna. I like way back when I first brought it home. I fixed one of the leaks because it was one of the lines. It was the actual pressure line. So made a new line, and put it back in, but the like rack itself, the seals in it are leaking.
Are you gonna have to rebuild it, or can you get a rack for cheap enough that it makes sense? Or
what? I have decided to ignore it for as long as possible.
That's fair.
I'm just going to spend the $40 and keep topping up. So the trick is to only put enough in that the steering levels back out again and feels good. Don't fill the reservoir up, because then it'll just leak continually all the way out. You just put that little bit in, and then once you start feeling the difference in the steering, just add a little bit more until it doesn't, and you just keep going.
Have you tried Lucas Oil power steering stop leak? I don't know.
And I will not.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
He's only putting certified oil in there, not snake oil.
Yep, exactly. Certified mineral.
Yeah, mineral
oil.
Mineral oil.
Yeah.
I have
good old minerals.
I have some car leaks too. On the way out here, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but on the way out here, not the power steering, the transmission cooler on my Land Cruiser started leaking. Not on the cooler, but on one of the lines. And I reused the Toyota spring clamps when I put it all back together, and they were fine up until now. And so I replaced it with a worm drive clamp. Actually, a new hose, because I thought it was a bad hose, and it still might have been. But I put a new hose in, put the spring clamp on, it leaked. Okay. Put a new worm clamp on instead of the spring clamp. Everything was fine. But then the next joint started leaking. So I put a clamp on that.
Yep. Found the next spot. Yep.
I drove to the car wash.
Where the pressure.
Yep. Drove to the car wash, which, man, I've got a really cool, sketchy car wash near my house. So I went down there, sprayed it all off, went home, got a little, I accelerated, oh, it's all good now. I'm like topped up on trans fluid. I'll run it through its gears really quick. And then I got home and it was puking trans fluid again. I was like, oh, okay. So I looked, and sure enough, the next joint has
next one down the line.
This weekend or sometime I need to, I don't know. It's in a very awkward spot. I really hate where the lines go. They have a hard line that goes through the radiator support. And so there's a junction on both sides of that. One of them is kind of easy to get to. It's like under the grill. The other one is basically under my radiator. So it's not so easy to get to.
Have you tried Lucas Oil transmission stop leak?
I have not.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Have you tried any Lucas product? That's where we're going to get to it at some point here.
That's what I start with every time.
Please sponsor us. I'll use it. Yeah. It won't help because it's, pouring out like I undid the cap on a ATF bottle and started pouring it on the ground. But
that seems within the realm. I don't know.
The pouring it out for your homies thing isn't working as well on this.
I'm trying to pour it out for all the 4L60s that have been, lost in the past.
That have lost first gear.
Hopefully not losing mine.
I know.
I would be very mad if this was the thing that took it out after all the things I've already done to it, to just say, oh, by the way, I just accidentally made a leak, and now driving 3 blocks on my way home, I burned my transmission up. It's not good. I've also been fighting with trying to figure out when I can have time and space to do my all the transfer case gear stuff that I bought before I left.
Yep.
And so today I started looking at like shops that could do it. I just thought, well, maybe this is the time. I didn't do it.
To pay somebody?
Yeah. I decided against it.
No.
I might still go back to it, but for now I don't want to. It makes me
At
so
the moment,
mad.
it's a no.
The first place I looked is like a very well-known shop, and in Land Cruiser land, and I was like, oh, these guys might be a good option. Like they sell a bunch of these parts, and they know what they're doing. First thing on their page is something about they won't install customer supplied parts. And I've been in this industry. I've done this job.
Yeah.
I understand why completely.
Yeah.
But it turned me off immediately. I was like, I don't even know if I want to ask.
Call them up and be like, hey, you want to buy these parts from me? And then install them on my own rig?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll pay you for them again.
I was just like, I don't, and you know how much of an asshole you sound like when you call someone and you say, no, don't worry. I do this for a living. I have the right parts. I promise.
Like, hey, I know you don't do this, but will you do this
for me? How many
for me?
times have you heard that?
Exactly. And that's going to be the time.
I know you've heard this before, but
where they see my parts and they go, "Oh, sir, these are wrong."
Trust me, I'm different. Believe me.
Yeah. I'm not that guy, I promise.
I feel a little bit like that guy this week because I started off the week. I was Haley's Escalade had a bad motor mount.
What color is that Escalade again?
The black one.
Yeah,
because she's better than us.
The color that you said you'd never get. Right.
Yep.
I would never,
ever. I didn't buy it. She did, and I told her I wasn't going to take care of the paint. Which I will anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's 0% chance it's going to happen that way. I know. But I was going to do the motor mount on it because that's the last like big clunk thing that we got going on, and it's very obviously a bad motor mount, and you can see through the fender well how destroyed it is. And I did the whole, put it in drive, hold the brakes, watch the motor through the hood wobble over, and great. I'll just put a motor mount in it. It's a Canadian truck originally, so there's a little bit of rust on it. And it's not enough rust where like it turned me off from buying it. There's not anything where I'm like structurally there's any kind of risk to it. It's just like everything is a little bit crusty. And to me, it didn't seem like enough to cause problems, except
until it did.
It did.
Okay.
So I was like, I know it's rusty, so I was spraying it with brake free and like really trying to get it all soaked in. And then the morning when I was going to start working on it, I hit it with a bunch more. And when I was ready to get to that part, I took apart the fender liner to get in there, and there's a mag ride sensor you get out of the way and some other stuff. And so I got it all prepped, and then I hit it with the torch, and I heated that thing up until it was just about glowing. And the torch, I have like a propane torch. It's not like a torch. So I got it all hot and happy and put my Ryobi impact on it and proceeded to back the bolt out just a little bit. Not too bad. And then the captured nut broke right off the back.
Oof.
And I went, shit, I'm going to have to figure that out. That's going to suck. And I moved over to the other one, and I heated it up, and I did the whole same thing. And I'd been, spraying penetrant on it for a while. And that one, I put the Ryobi on it, didn't even move, just snapped the bolt right off at the threads. And so I said, I'm not going to try the third one. Hey, Tyson, can I pay you real money to have a professional break off the third one, so I'm not the only one? And so he's been working on it. He said he got it like 3 turns, and then it seemed to stick a little bit. So he's spraying it with a bunch more stuff and gonna try again tomorrow. Today the truck got picked up and went over to Sounds Fast and got tires and got a backup camera and Apple CarPlay and all the things Haley wanted. But tomorrow it'll be back here and we'll see what happens. Maybe it just gets worse and I have to figure something out, but I'll figure it out. It's not like it's going to be the end of the world. One motor mount's enough, right? You put a ratchet strap over the top and call it a day.
Yeah, sure.
50%, right? Is there only 2 in there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've done
50%.
Worse.
It's almost
passing
grade.
Not quite a passing grade. Not
yeah, but you had that ratchet strap. You had that ratchet strap. You get the other 10%, and now you're 60.
That could be 10. Yeah. If there's a transmission mount,
and it's good. I checked it.
So there you go. So that means there's 3.
Yeah.
So you got 3/4.
Yeah.
You got 2/3 of your freaking.
That's 66%.
Yeah. I mean that's a passing grade. So there we go.
And what? Just the mother of my child is driving it. It's not like.
And your kid might be in it.
Yeah, probably.
You know.
He can't count yet or read. He reminds me of that all the time. I'm like, hey, Miles, what are you doing over there? And I was like, you can't be doing that. Look, there's a sign. And he goes, Dad, I can't read. And I'm like, you can now, a little bit. You know the big red stop sign. You're aware. But he just loves to rub it in my face. You know I can't read, Dad.
Yeah, Dad.
Come on.
Can't read, right?
Hopefully that doesn't become a theme. Hopefully he gets the reading part down.
He's 16 years old. And
Hey,
read, Dad, you know I can't read. Come on. It'd be funny if he does it ironically. It'll be awful if he means it.
It's true.
That'd be like the Wayne's World rant when he fake cries, and at the end he says, "And the worst part, I never learned to read."
Yeah.
Then he could do that speech. It's gonna be true.
It'd be true. That's a perfect transition for our main topic, but we're not going to do that. We're going to transition into some news.
I almost said it too. I was like,
let's see. I'm going to share my screen. This isn't so much news as it is cool. And it's arguably cool. I don't know if you'll think it's cool or not, but
arguably cool.
This is
I won't argue.
Newer.
That's cool.
Newer Super Duty. I don't know. It says the year in here somewhere, but it is swapped with a 8.1 Vortec Chevy V8. Guy had a Super Duty with a bad engine and a bad chassis with a 8.1 in it. So, and then he went ahead and just threw a big old turbo on it. So,
that's cool.
Looks pretty good in there. And look at that. Big old monster turbo.
That's a 494.
496.
Well, 8.1 into cubic inches is.
Chevy says it's 496 cubic inches. I don't know.
Depends where you're round.
They're fucking liars. Yeah.
Did you just do the math there? I didn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear. So yeah, they called it 496, but whatever. The manufacturers always do that crap.
They're not good at math.
Had a real Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
Put the decimal in the wrong place. I always screw up on these mundane details. Mundane details.
So anyways, that's not news, but it's kind of cool. It's, GM ECU 4L80. And it doesn't look like an ugly Chevy of that era.
Which is nice.
Yeah. I think that the Ford is a better looking truck. And we all know that the solid front axle rides better. So that's the other benefit.
Well, I didn't say the solid front axle rides better. I've always said that the truck is more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I'll stand behind that. That's a hill I like. I'll die on it.
All right, cool. This one got me really excited because I thought it was that ugly truck, but it's not. It's not a Tasman. It's a Kia Ceros, which just got released in India, and it is a 1.5 turbocharged manual, very ugly box thing. It's not a Kia Tasman, but it kind of looks like it.
It comes in 8 colorways.
That's excessive almost. It also has flush-fitting door handles.
Ooh.
And an integrated spoiler.
Wow.
It is 9
That's important.
Latka. I don't know what that is. It's not Latka not like the Jewish delicacy, but the money.
9.00. Weird.
I bet
How does their money work like that?
I don't know.
On-road prices are 10.45.
What does that mean?
In Mumbai. That's got to be like 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, ish.
0.45.
Mike, do the math on that.
I won't.
Yeah, anyways, it got me super excited again because I was like, oh, cool. And then it wasn't. Okay, I got another one. If that's not striking your fancy, Mike's going to love this one because he's a big Escalade guy.
I'm the Escalade guy.
And Cadillac has just released all their stuff on their new full-size Escalade electric vehicle called the IQL. And the Autopian is calling it a real-life Canyonero, which I think is hilarious.
Canyonero.
Yep.
That was a great Simpsons bit.
It is very expensive and very big.
Well, yeah. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be an Escalade.
85.3 inches wide with the mirrors folded. It's 1.7 inches wider than an F-150. Smallest wheels are 22s. What else do we have here that's interesting? 460
Did you say a 49-gallon
I think that was cubic space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
4.49 gallons.
36.7 inches of legroom is about 9 inches more than the second row of a disco, by the way.
It's true. Yeah.
If you'll refer back to a podcast we just recently did.
Similar to a Honda CR-V.
Let's see here. 4.70 to 60, 460 mile range, which is very impressive, by the way. The range. Big,
especially
monster
at
screen.
1,000 horsepower or 700 horsepower?
750.
Dang.
Starts at 132,695.
Is that it?
So if you've got 6 figures burning a hole in your pocket and want a bigger 3-row electric luxury SUV than anyone else, Cadillac is taking orders.
There's something about having a giant Cadillac Escalade and a big V8 sound out of it, though.
Honestly, to me, like with luxury vehicles, I am like of the opinion that they shouldn't make loud noises. Like, that's like to me, the Escalade V was like, I think it's kind of cool because it's so fast, but also like it's so stupid. Why would they like? It doesn't. If it's a luxury car, it shouldn't be rumbly and loud. It should just move quickly. Right?
It should be luxury.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. I don't think it should be loud inside the cabin. I think it should be like driving around with 2 middle fingers up because it's nice and quiet in here. I have a lot of good sound deadening. And then outside, everybody's bah, bah. I think that's neat. And that's just me.
I mean, you're not. I'm probably in the minority here because I don't agree with that completely, but I could see why you'd like it.
Yeah. And I'm not against a large electric vehicle either, because that's what we're looking for, something in that, hybrid electric with some electric range for Haley once we're done with the Escalade. That's the whole
Something
plan.
Bigger than your current Escalade that starts at $133,000. That seems
no.
Right?
Probably closer to the Scout, which I'm watching with bated breath to see how that pans out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Looks like it's going to be pretty cool. And I like that it's mostly electric with the range extender. Is kind of a cool idea. BMW was doing
a Volkswagen range extender.
This is what I forgot to bring up when I was first talking about that. Volkswagen range extender setup there is just like the BMW iQ, their smaller one.
i3 and i8, actually. They do the same
i3?
thing.
Yeah, it had a BMW motorcycle,
I think it's just
1
a
liter in it.
Yeah. But
no, there was one. I was looking at it because I was, dicking around at an auto dealership because I was doing that. But there's one that had literally a motorcycle, I think a single cylinder as a range extender in a older electric BMW. What's their little one? The older little one.
Well, the i3 is the one that has a gas range extender. And the i8 is the other one, which is like the supercar looking thing that's not a supercar. And they're pretty much the same architecture, I think. But it's the same idea, and the Chevy Volt does it too, or did it too. But i3, I guess I could look it up, but i3 range extender has an engine, and it is an engine that extends the range, and it makes not very much power.
Yes. Small 2-cylinder gasoline engine.
There we go. So
out of their motorcycle. Yeah. It's a generator. It's like half of one of their motorcycle engines or something. But because I saw it and I was like, that's kind of neat. And then I went on a dive at one point. But I think it's a cool idea. That's such a great idea to have something that's going to sip fuel but can create enough electricity to extend your range like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really neat way to do it. It's like a backwards hybrid, which I think is really neat. And I think you might be right. I think that the i3 engine is motorcycle derived. Maybe the i8 is what had the 3-cylinder. Maybe that's where I got confused. Same idea either way, but.
And that would make sense because if you're going to try and make it a sports car, it should have a better.
It went from 40 horsepower to 150 or something like that. So
yeah,
big big change.
Huge jump.
There's a car lot. The street that I live off of, it has like a bunch of really bad car lots. And there's probably like 8 of them within 5 blocks. And one of them has an orange i8 that's been sitting outside ever since I moved here. So it just sits at the edge of the fence. They also have a yellow Trackhawk or SRT8 Grand Cherokee it's white with yellow graphics and yellow 24s, maybe 26.
Oof.
It's ugly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's a statement piece.
It is very much a statement piece. It's somehow it looks loud next to the orange i8, which is saying a lot. Okay, I'm going to wrap up news with a somber note. I think, I don't know if you guys saw this today, but sad news in the hot rod and custom world. Gene Winfield passed away. So,
no.
I mean, kind of saw it coming for a while. He was looking pretty leery for a bit.
He's not
But he was
young.
He's like
and he's
85 or...
do the math. 1927 to
I'm looking at it.
2025.
98.
That's more than 85 for sure.
Turns out.
Well, I guess 97. He
97.
hadn't turned 98 yet, but yeah, real great of the custom car scene. One of the most prolific hot rod painters of our like hot rod world in time that we've been alive for sure. And he kept it going for a long time. Like he was not just like a guy that did it and then moved out of it. He was very much in the world of hot rods still. In fact, I just saw a recent, I think we talked about this on the podcast. One of those silly Instagram shorts of some guy doing car videos, and it was with
with him.
Yeah, it was sweet.
The cool. Professional shot one.
Yeah. So,
he's been doing a bunch of like the Gambino Customs dude.
Yeah.
They'll do like hot rod seminars. And Gene had done a bunch of them, like showing like paint and bodywork techniques and things like that. Like, and he would do them like live with people there. Like, so he worked all the way to the end there. It seems like. Well,
and what a gnarly thing to be a part of in the 60s, like the lead and all those paints. Like none of that was good for you at all.
No,
not that it is now, but it's way worse then.
Yeah, they're smoking 6 packs a day. Drinking whiskey and
that's what they say. What was the dude? Is it Bill Hines? I can't the like really famous lead worker dude that always he was like super tiny and he had a giant stogie all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, but Bill he said Hines. Something about like it's not Bill the lead. Hines. It's not the lead that gets you. It's the something else.
Well, everyone the conspiracy was that because he always smoked a cigar while he was doing it, it pushed all the lead fumes away. So that's why he was able to live for so long. Was because he was smoking a stogie.
Filtered through the cigar as he was inhaling.
Clean cigar air.
Yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works. For one person out of a million.
Yep.
But
he's the one. Speaking of Gambino though, since I brought it up, and I don't know how much of it you've seen, Sean or Mike, but the Motor Trend has been selling off all of their project cars, and everybody that has been associated or loosely associated is buying them up. Dirthead Dave, has bought a few, and he actually just dropped off the hot rod that he bought. Well, one of the hot rods that he bought at Gambino.
The model is a Model A?
No, it's the
other
one. The Model A he took
the Model A he took home.
But I can't think of what the other one was.
Is it Mercury?
It's a chopped something or other, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. But yeah, he took it. They got it running and drove it.
Yeah.
To Gambino's to have him.
I haven't watched the video yet.
Do some work on it. It looks like.
Is the video out? I haven't watched.
I saw a bunch of a short reels, or something like that. Yeah, a reel of him and
David Freiberger,
driving it over there. So
David Freiberger can make just about anything run just about well enough to do a road trip like that, and it's always awesome to watch. I really appreciate Freiberger's his motto is you don't have to get it right, just get it running. Like you're more likely to work on a car that you can drive. You're more likely to finish something that you enjoy already. And if you don't get it running, you're not going to like, it'll sit in your yard for 20 years and you'll never pull the trigger on it and all these. He's like, if it doesn't drive, make it drive. Do whatever it takes to make it drive and get it pretty close and then work on it from there. But it's a really cool thought process.
It's a 51 Plymouth.
There you go.
51 Plymouth. There we go. Yeah. I knew it wasn't like the common, wasn't like a Mercury or a Ford. It was something kind of weird. But yeah, I'm interested to see what him and like what Gambino like comes up with for what they're going to do. I don't know if he's just planning on like fixing the bodywork it has done and just like
or like lining it out
there, or if he's going to like take it further. So
I remember, so I watched the video where he was like going through the garage and or the Motor Trend garage at that point, and he got like a Typhoon, which doesn't run well, has blown head gaskets, but it looks like it's going to be pretty rad. That and the like hot rod, and there were a bunch of cars in there, and he was talking about how it was cool that they were like lettered up and numbered up in an old school fashion, even though it was more recently done. Hot Rod Garage had a really good connection with somebody who was doing all their lettering and stuff that was pretty rad. So I hope it's something along those lines. I hope it's some sort of like old school, period correct, model correct. I don't know. Not new, fresh paint stuff.
That's not Gambino's style at all. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping it comes out like that. It comes out something cool.
If I had to shoot from the hip and guess, I would assume it's getting air ride with the parts that he builds, and that's probably
for sure
what they're going to do with that. I mean, I'm not like intimately familiar with the dude's work, but enough to know that he doesn't do it. I don't think he does a ton of like full build cars. I think it's like this is the stuff we make. This is the stuff we do. Here you go. So my assumption would be that they would toss some of that stuff on and give it back to the guy to do the rest of the stuff on his own.
Like Dave Chappelle is an airbags guy, period. He put bags on his crawler and Mom Spaghetti and
yeah. Gambino does like he's got like C-notch kits for like every hot rod imaginable.
Yeah,
don't they do finish work there though too? So, am I wrong?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure it's like body stuff. Like that's
body stuff. Like okay,
body and paint, things like that seems to be a lot of what I see him talking about.
Yeah.
So, but it's all like all the paint stuff that I've ever seen him do is very like traditional flat paint.
Yeah.
Like satin is the most sheen it's gonna get, but then it has like he has like a car that's got like a Tequila Sunrise type paint.
Yeah.
Like there's always like just that traditional.
That's
did
cool.
it in my garage type look.
Yeah.
To what he does. So
yeah, that car's the fuck you 54. It's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that he sells through the shop is all the tail dragger air ride stuff. So
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah.
Cool stuff though, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I came up with a weird main topic because I had a conversation at work where everybody was talking about their first cars, and like a lot of people, I work with a variety of ages, and it was really interesting to see everybody's first car. So it got me thinking, like, what's like the right answer for a first car? Not necessarily like there's no right answer, but like in your mind,
there is.
What is
subjective
the right answer? Yeah.
No, there's absolutely a right answer.
So
and I have one. I have one set up for every price point that you're talking about.
Jeez.
And it's the same right answer.
I didn't even set it up, and you've already won.
No, I've got Facebook Marketplace local for every price point in the same Jeep Cherokee XJ. Because you can get a $1,000 XJ, you can get a $5,000 XJ, you can get a $10,000 XJ. Hold on, let me screen share this for a second.
Oh my God. Well, while you're pulling that up, let me explain what I told you guys, which was I think it would be fun to pick the best first car for a few different price points, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 and $20,000.
Mm-hmm. So
Mike apparently has picked an XJ for all of them.
There's an XJ. You could also get an XJ.
At the $20,000 mark, are you just getting 2 XJs?
I maybe get 10.
No, you can just put a tent on it. Yeah. You can get an XJ and put tons on it. $1,000 XJ. This one's a $2,000 XJ.
Only see the one.
Hold on, because it won't share this tab here.
Yeah, you have to change the tab.
I'm working on it. $4,000. So that's your $5,000 one. We got this one, which is $1,000. Does run, no title.
What are these stickers at the license plate that are right next to the license plate? What is that?
I think they're bulldogs. I think those are.
Oh no, those are pit bulls right there, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
We got a $2,000 XJ because there's no reason not to. For a clean title, no issues, call my phone number.
No issues.
XJ.
No issues. $2,000 XJ, no issues.
Guarantee you that's the truth.
There's that curve.
In Prineville, there's a 0% chance there's any issues with this XJ.
Yeah, grading with a curve there.
But in the true spirit of the game, if I really was going to tell somebody to buy $1,000 car, this would be a good first car. It's cheap. They're everywhere. It's a Camry. You can't do wrong here. That kid can drive it until it falls over, and then you just leave it where it is, and you go get another Camry. So in my $1,000 for real one, even though you can get an XJ in every single one of these price categories, my son will have an XJ or some sort of Jeep probably. He might get the JK. But somebody else's kid should get a Camry.
I mean, $1,000 price range is tough.
So tough.
Honestly, anymore. So it's like half the time it's going to be like you got it from a friend's friend, a family friend, and they were like, okay, we're helping
Aunt Joanne
you
said,
out get your first car. How about $1,000?
Yep.
Call it good. Like that's probably, and so at that point,
they're all Camrys
you're
anyway.
just going to take whatever you can get.
Yeah.
Because if that's the situation you're in, because buying a car that is $1,000 is not going to be a great car.
True.
To begin with. Yeah, like that's tough. That's a really tough one to. I think it's just going to have to be whatever you can, the best thing you can get
for the money. Yeah.
At that, and it's probably not going to be great.
Ideally, it runs and then continue from there.
Yeah.
So, I have some more recent experience on this, and my experience was the $1,000 car was what we did. So I found a broken car and we worked on it together.
Yeah.
So I think that to me, that's like kind of those are the options, right? Like you find, like you're saying, either the family deal or just the thing that exists that works, or you flex your, I can work on this together muscle or whatever, and make something happen. So I was, my son was extremely lucky to find what we found, and it worked out great. It's what he wanted, so it was perfect. But and that's not for everybody. Like that's not going to always happen. But
no,
it is.
Well,
like
I got to show him around a junkyard.
Yep. He loves junkyards to this day. It's his favorite thing.
I'm so glad.
But it is a way to maximize your budget, right? Especially if you're interested in cars. And it doesn't work for somebody, I don't think, that's like not interested, or if you are the parent and you don't have any skill or like want, desire to do that. But if you do, and your child has the desire to, help, or you care or don't care about that part of it, you can get a lot. I mean, that's how Mike works through cars, right? Like that's how a lot of people do it, because you can use your skill to make money or get better things, trade up.
That's how we got the Escalade, and it was slightly broken, and we've made it better each time. And the same thing with my Jeep, it was total title, and the same thing with the Miata, it didn't run right. And
I think the Jeep still has a total title.
What?
You said the Jeep was a total title. I just was gonna say I think it still is.
No, it's reconstructed now.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And that is a difference in your insurance. Well, so then from there, we're what, at the $5,000 range?
Yeah.
So I have on the $5,000 range, I'm going to say this is kind of for my kid as an example, but you can get into a Miata, an NB in good shape. It's pretty darn reliable. The benefits of having a 2-door convertible that is manual transmission is your kid can only bring one person anywhere. They're not the party driver. They're not DDing for the friend group. They are parking their car when it snows, and their friends are going to be able to give them rides. But it would be in a situation where, like, if your child is into cars, this would be a great step for wrenching and modifying and working on stuff, and it's still reliable, and it still gets good mileage, and it's still fun. And then when they say, Dad, I need a bigger car for this or that, and then you get to have a Miata as long as they haven't ruined it before then. So that would be
It's like a savings plan for a Miata. You just have,
right? Yeah.
have them hold on to it for you.
Miata savings.
The prices are only going up on these, folks. You better get into one now and hold on to it for dear life.
It's a fair point.
I'm going a different, like the absolute opposite direction of that, because so my thought on this was, I know what I was doing in my first cars, and knowing what I was doing now, how much better those things would have been with some space. Buy a wagon.
Yeah.
Any wagon, $5,000 or less. There's tons of them out there. There's the Jetta wagon. I've scrolled past three or four. There's a Mercedes wagon in here. Like yes, they're going to be problem children, but I'm telling you, the wagon, especially at that age, you know what you're doing in those cars.
I love a wagon.
At that age.
I love a wagon.
I'm just going to put it out there.
But I don't want to facilitate that. I don't want to facilitate that, what they're doing. But I mean, they're
buying it with their money, because I sure shit I'm not buying my kid their first car. They are buying their first car. So, but I'm saying, like, from my what I know now,
babies are made in the back of wagons. All right.
Exactly.
And I don't want to.
I don't want
to facilitate this circumstance at this age.
I sure would have liked to have more space when I was doing that back there. So I'm just saying, knowing what I know now, I would 100% be on the wagon train.
We're buying these for our kids, though. Not for me, right? Isn't that the premise?
But me as a kid,
okay,
first car. If you have to put yourself in your own shoes at that age, I want a wagon.
See, I was coming at this as like planning it for my kid, the things that I would want my kid to have as a first car.
No,
I wasn't thinking about it like me as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he said ideal first car.
Yeah,
that's fair.
For me, ideal first car.
That's just where my mind went. I'm not saying that's. Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, and I'm with you there. It's just where my mind went was like, the next person who needs a first car in my household is my currently 5-year-old son. I got to plan ahead for that. But no, I'm with you there. If I was a high schooler again, a wagon, a truck with a canopy. There's a lot of options now. Also an XJ.
Still in that price range.
Yep, I got a lot of them. Next price range is like what, $7,500? Did I skip yours?
Yeah,
Sean?
you sure skipped over me.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about this. This is a great conversation.
Range really bad.
I can
It's a great conversation.
Man, I'm going to take like the real soft approach here and say that like as a parent, the kind of like you guys are getting at, the ideal first car is kind of where Mike's going a little bit, is like safe and all of those things. And I think Colin's on the right path, but I think I would go with, like, depending on climate, maybe like a really good condition Civic or a Camry, or like that $5,000 range of those cars, because you get so much car for that amount of money. You get a ton of reliability, really nice car. So I think that's the boring $5,000 option.
Yeah,
And honestly,
you get that for your kid, and you don't have to worry about it other than them fucking it up.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at. I'm with that.
This is coming from a guy whose kid got the same terrible car addiction that he did, so he's gotten unreliable Euro cars, and they're fine, and I love them, and he loves them, but also, once a week I get a call that's like, "Hey, Dad, my window doesn't roll up anymore. What do I do?"
Didn't he
has to learn those things.
Didn't he just take glamour shots on the side of the highway after he rear-ended somebody?
Yeah, just got into a little fender bender on the freeway.
I was like looking at I try and like all of his glamour shot posts because I told him that I would, and so I saw like it was like this. I was doing something else and I came back to it and it was like from the back. It was just like glamour shot, and I'm like, he's on the freeway doing this. How? Like, that's dumb. You shouldn't be parked on the side of the road on the freeway doing this. And he got around to the front and went, oh,
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Darn it.
Yep, not ideal.
Poor guy. But he said he's going to build it back better than ever.
Yeah. Sure is.
Sure
is. Thing they don't tell you about kids and driving is the fact that they can get you kicked off of your own insurance. So I just learned about that today from another one of our friends. So
Oh, okay. So that didn't happen to you though.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Sorry.
I'm on thin ice with the insurance company already because I don't want to say on the air why.
Don't want to put that out there.
I don't need to put that out there.
Wonder what that could be.
Yeah. Do a little math, you can figure it out.
I was on my parents' insurance for like a year before I had to just do my own. And they didn't my parents were not like mean about it or anything. It wasn't like I got kicked off of it. I didn't have any accidents. They were just like, look, if you're going to pay for your own insurance, you should just do it all on your own.
Wow.
And so I did. I've been that way ever since. So I'm not sure. It's a weird circumstance for me.
Well, my kid is lucky to have me, being as soft as I am with him, and he's on their insurance because there's a lot of benefit for it. It benefits me too until this happened. So.
Yeah, benefits you until it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So we're probably
my brother was on my parents all the way up until he was like 25. So
yeah,
it was just me. Turns out it was not on that same game.
All right. 10,000. What's the next one, by the way? So this is to me, this is like. Let me stop for 1 second. Sorry. If this is like either in a scenario where you got a really hardworking kid who, this is like the good side of it. You got a hardworking kid who maybe negotiated I pay for half of it deal, or like you're just a little bit more of a family that has a ton of money sitting around or whatever. That's the 10 and 20 for me. It's less, and I thought it might inspire like this terrible conversation about how bad or good that might be, but realistically, like this is like if you were a kid right now and you had $10,000 burning a hole in your pocket, like what would you buy? To me, that's like I dreamed about that at that age a little bit, so I'm sure you guys did.
Yep.
So that's kind of like how do you do that with your perspective as an adult?
Yeah. I always like to be under value and have room for upgrades, mods, and all that stuff. And so I thought about that same kind of concept as when I was in buying my first vehicle, and with inflation and all the other stuff, I was in a Bronco, and it was much cheaper than the $10,000 range, but I did learn a lot by buying something really cheap and then working on it. And so like I bought this 87 Ford Bronco that had no top, and we bought it off the side of the road because the drive shaft broke, and you lock the hubs and put it in 4-wheel drive, and guess what? You can drive with the front. But it was like the first car I learned to do U-joints in, and I did
say a burnout.
That's everybody's first car, right?
Yeah. But then I had to sew a top for it, so I made my own like soft top. And luckily, my parents had an upholstery shop when I was younger, and so like I learned how to set snaps, and I learned how to do minor vinyl work and sew and do all these other things. So I've found a few different things, but my example is there's an 84 Chevy 1500 regular cab, which is not correct. It's a K10, but it's a 4-wheel drive. It's a short bed. It's a 350. It's a turbo 350 or turbo 400 trans. They're, decent axles for some 35s and a kid who's willing to work on some stuff and make something a little bit cooler. But it's like the quintessential little cowboy truck that it could be a Ford, it could be a Chevy, it could be a Bronco, it could be a pickup, it could be a Blazer. I don't care, but that kind of like mid-80s hardworking truck that a kid could get into all kinds of things. Because if your kid decides they're a hot rodder, you lower it and you put some power to it and you make it fun. Or if your kid decides he wants to be a off-roader, he can do things. Or if he wants to go camp out of it, he can do things. It's just a bunch of options in that type of vehicle. And so you can get those from $7,500 to $12,000 depending on the condition. And they're also vehicles that seem to be on the rise. They're not making any more of them, and people are starting to look into finding good quality versions. So that's on my list for that price point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am still going to come at it from the teenage perspective.
That's what I
better
say.
wagon.
You can still get a wagon, but now you're in diesel prices.
Oh, okay.
So now you could get like a TDI and you got mileage. So now you're saving money and you've still got the wagon. So there's plenty of diesel. There's a couple of the Golf sport wagons and stuff and things
You're
like
also
that.
in GTI money.
Yeah, but there's not
Like
enough
Mark
room in
5,
the back
Mark
of
6.
that is what I'm saying.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
Being a guy that's had a few of them, there is.
But if we're
the
talking
seats full very flat.
the smaller size, I will say a great thing, and it would be like you could get literally the best one of these on the road you could find in that price range, a Honda Fit.
Oh,
Yeah, I love a Honda Fit.
They're super, obviously Honda, it's reliable.
They're reliable,
It's a great little car. It's not huge, so there's not a ton of stuff to worry about there. And when you're at the top of that thing's price range, you're getting a really fucking nice one.
90,000 miles
and then to top that off, there's all kinds of stuff you can do to them. So if you are a kid that's getting into them, here, I'm going to share screen on this one that I just almost scrolled past. I'm going to freaking pull this up because you can begin into the car world of
that one's cool.
Lower it.
With their 4x100. Yeah.
Just like little things. And this is still,
a third of them are manual.
5,000. This is at the previous price range. And Fit. Great.
That's a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a Honda Fit. I don't know why I've never had one. I seem to have had everything else. But every time I see a Fit going by, it's the same kind of thing I do when I see a Miata go by. I go, oh, hey, there's a Fit. That's cool. And it doesn't have to be anything.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not ruined. They don't have all the bumpers falling off and all the other stuff that seems to happen to some of the lower end versions of those Fits. But man, I love them. I think they're so cool.
Yeah, a 19 Fit with 38,000 miles, and it's listed at 12.5.
Yeah,
you could potentially get that
yeah.
down. Here's an 18 with 49,000 miles, 10.
Yeah,
yeah. That's killer.
Yep.
And you can get them in a manual too.
I'm with you there. Yeah.
So,
front wheel drive, they do okay in the winter. Not deep snow, but a lot of the things on this list won't do well in deep snow.
I think your first car shouldn't do good in the snow. You should have to learn. You're gonna have to learn.
Yeah, I struggled through it a bit.
Better to have front wheel drive, obviously, in that situation, or if you can get into a cheap all wheel drive. But
I don't think it needs to be tank status, but I do think that where we live and even where Sean lives newly, you gotta be able to drive in the snow.
But you have to do the training.
Yeah, you have to work at it.
Yeah.
But the vehicle, I would want to have something that is is moderately possible. And I'm the guy that also said Miata earlier.
Yeah.
So
great snow car.
I took mine out a lot this winter, trying to get it to run right, and it's a lot of fun in the snow.
Yeah,
but it's not great.
Yeah.
No, I know
you have
that.
more experience than the 15-year-old who's just getting one.
I still almost didn't make it back to my garage a couple times. Yeah,
see.
No, I know. All right.
Where are we at, Sean?
All right, so 10,000. I think I'm going to give a couple examples, and one of them is just off the cuff because you guys were talking about it. But I think
is it an XJ?
I think the Element is the next
logical. There we go.
Thought.
Get it in all-wheel drive. Get it in a manual.
They're great.
I'm with you. I love a Honda Element, but I do feel like their prices have gone nuts lately.
They are priced higher than fits.
Yeah.
Yes. But you can still get a $10,000 one in it.
But you still can, for sure. Yeah.
I was just peeking at them real quick. But I wouldn't have that. If I was a dirty hippie teenager, that maybe that would be my thing, but I wasn't. So the things that 16-year-old Sean would be looking at then and now would be maybe like a B5 S4, because you can still get one of those in that price range. And I think it's a terrible decision from a parent perspective, but I would have pushed so hard for that if I had the ability to do it. So that's
if only you could get approval.
Yep. So that's on the list. And then the worst idea, I mean, there's many bad ones, because 16-year-old Sean was not, I wasn't thinking about diesel fuel mileage or anything like that. Would be a Boxster, because there are so many sub $10,000 Boxsters, and again, terrible idea for a kid and probably for an adult. But I look at that and I go, man, if I was just me going to school every day and I wanted a fun car, that's the car. Is it bad in snow? Probably. Would I think about that? Absolutely not. Not until it snowed.
Well, not until you were in the snow. And
would I be upset?
Oh, fuck.
Would I be upset that I couldn't have put my bike in it? A little bit, but I would have just put the top down and let it hang out the side, so it would have been fine.
Yeah, see. And I'm with you there.
Rack, I don't care.
Actual me in high school, if I had $10,000, I'm absolutely positively... I mean, I know exactly what I would do. There's zero question.
That is prime Fox body price range.
Yeah, I know.
That's where you would be.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's that 5.0. It's a man. I mean, there's abs. I mean, I'd find a manual transmission ideally if I could. I would have a convertible for sure, because I am who I am. But I would be all over this if I was 16 and had $10,000 to play with. No question about it.
Yep.
Yeah. In that line of thought, it'd be terrible for the parents. That reminds me of my attempt at getting my second car.
Oh yeah.
Because I got on the pre-96 Audi thing really early, and so I was 17 and had decided I wanted a 5,000 Quattro.
Oh, well, yeah.
And because I was like, dude, I had, you know how the internet was back then. You just happen across weird, bad videos. And, of course it's from Eastern Europe somewhere. And this dude is doing Quattro drifting in his 4,000, which, well, I mean, technically it's an 80 over there, but there are 4,000s over here. But it had a 10-valve turbo in it, and that is what set me neck to the 5,000, because that already has it. It's a bigger sedan, but already has that engine in it. And I had picked it out, found a really nice one. It was in Forest Grove, it was in Beaverton, and my dad had this thing about making me talk to the person.
Yeah, you got to go.
And this was back. This was back when we had to, find the ad in the Auto Trader.
Yeah,
and then
Nickel
then
saver,
make a phone call and all this shit, And so I made the phone call. I set up a day and a time, and then my dad wouldn't take me to go look at it.
Oh no!
So he made me bail with no notice to this guy that we had bailed.
Yep.
Like, cool, thanks. So yeah, guess what? Colin didn't get his $5,000 back in the day.
Yeah.
I wish I could have, because that would have been a lot of fun having a manual 10-valve turbo, all-wheel drive like that. It would have been a total hoot.
Oh yeah.
And until the real life things where if something breaks and we're children but I didn't want to think about that stuff when I was
didn't think
in that
about
age.
it.
I wouldn't have. Yeah, I was not thinking of that at all.
My actual and truthful first car was a Camaro, and it was a Pontiac. So it was a Firebird, and it was a V6, and I bought it. It was like a 79 or an 80. I think it was an 80. And I bought it without telling my parents, and I had the guy drop it off at our house, and it didn't run, and it was in the side yard. My dad said I had to get it running before I turned 16. Otherwise, it had to go. And I got it running, and it blew the motor in like the 20 minutes that it ran. It never ran at all. I got it running. I ran inside. I grabbed the cordless phone. I called my dad. I ran outside, and I held the phone up, and I revved it on the phone. I'm like, look, Dad, it's running. And I went, wham, wham, boom. And it never did anything ever again. And so from there, then my dad was like, I'm going to help you buy the next one. You're not doing this on your own.
Not on your own.
You can do all the stuff, but I will go look and I will make sure that I'm a part of it. And that's how I got my Bronco. But it was one of those things. I get it. I understand.
Yeah. All right. What's your pie in the sky? I don't know why 20. Let's not even put the $20,000 on there. This is cap off.
That's insane money.
Yeah, your parents are Bezos rich. You get whatever you want. You're 16. This is from your perspective. What are you getting?
The me in me now says supercharged Range Rover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering when they were going to show up on this list for you.
Right now, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
I would take one of those right now if my parents had that kind of money and they were going to give it to me for a car.
You can use some of your adult wisdom, but like think about you're that age. So like, I mean, it might be a great decision. I'm just saying, like, is that still like, do you care that it's not, a car, or it's not this, or it is that? Like, that's kind of the thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. At that, I'm trying to remember like what some of the prices were of things that I really wanted, like when I was that age, to know if that would have worked. I mean, but if we're doing like now money, anything that I thought I wanted it would never happen.
I never really would have put thought into that as a kid in the dream way, because unlimited money, you're like, oh yeah, just the nicest version of whatever. It still probably would have been a Fox body. It would have just been like the best one.
Sure. You didn't ever have that like thought with like your parents where one of them was like, oh, if I won the lottery, I'd buy you a car or something, and you'd go, oh my God, I could buy a whatever, a supercharged Range Rover or something.
I think at that point, I think I would have been too in my own thoughts of, I just want the Power Stroke.
There you go.
Because we had the 97 like quintessential crew cab F350 Power Stroke long bed, and I loved that truck. Like that, I grew up in that truck, so it's like my favorite truck. Yeah. And so I think like if my parents were in that situation where we're like, well, we're just gonna buy another car and we'll keep this one, it's like that becomes mine then. Like that's where it would have been, and that's probably about the price range it would have been by the time I was, by the time I'm driving. Maybe
the closest I would have got, the closest I got to that was like when I was graduating, and my, the whole, if we won the lottery, what would you do kind of thing. Then it would have been a ZR1 Corvette, like the early C6 Corvette. Like those were the coolest, fastest production, crazy, 600 horsepower and 600 torques. But in turning 16, same kind of concept though. I think now that you're talking like that, yeah, my dad had a blue 78 4-wheel drive Highboy And like that would have been it. That was the dream. My dad sold that when my brother was born and bought us a minivan. And I've got pictures of me,
That's
as
worst,
a kid.
Worst choice as a family man
I know.
is to make that step into minivan world.
But he did it. And I've got pictures, I still have a picture of me in front of the big blue truck. And I remember that thing as a kid. And my dad got another one later on when, he didn't care so much about us all riding in it anymore. And that was like the vehicle that shaped my childhood. So that would have been on the list. But I would have rather had the Corvette.
I think that, the Corvette is kind of what I was looking at. I didn't really think about it from perspective. I thought about it more like anything in the world, so like into today. But thinking about it in that time frame, I had the same thing that Colin had a little bit because we had like the same truck almost for when I was like.
It would have been that or a 911 for me.
Yeah, well, that's funny because that was my next thing.
Because I've always wanted a 911. So
yeah,
that's funny. We're gonna have the same answer then because mine would have been. It would have started with the truck thing, and only out of like, it's all I knew to be like a cool new thing, and whatever it was neat at the time. But that wasn't around when I was 16, so it wouldn't have. Like, I probably wouldn't have thought that. So I think if somebody was just like, hey, you can have any car you want, I would have just picked a 911. It just would have brought me straight there. Like, and at that point, I mean, I could have gotten a last year 993 basically at that point. So that would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been, like I said, I would have been an old, a Fox body or previous Mustang in the nicest version would have been the most likely thing. If you'd asked me that exact question, I'd have been like a 67 like GT350 clone or something.
Why a clone? Why are you dreaming of a clone?
My buddy had one. My buddy had one.
He likes reps.
Justin had
your
that
buddy
66.
Has an odd one.
Yeah.
Dreamy though, I guess. At 16.
I really want that white Fox body I pulled up. I think it's rad.
Honestly, I am not a big Fox body guy, but that car kind of seems like a deal. It's got like 40,000 miles.
I know. I was looking through it.
I would pay money for that.
I would pay money for that. I'm considering it. I'm going to pull it back up and see what I can do.
Once it was convertible, I'd be much more into it.
Yeah, the convertibles are hard on those. They have
some cars
a bit of an odd look.
Yeah, some cars I'm willing to take the dive because I think it's interesting that they like depreciate so much differently. We were just talking about this recently, but like some cars, no,
not so much.
I like my hair in the wind.
Ironically, RS4 convertible, probably. S4 convertible, I don't think so.
Yeah,
and they're pretty much the same car, but those fenders make
something about the way it looks.
RS4 looks so much better, and it's like so odd. But S5 convertible, no thanks. S5 regular hardtop, maybe. Not my favorite, but maybe.
Not my favorite, but
I only didn't drive my Miata over here with the top down because I was blocked in. So I'm a convertible guy through and through. I had to put the top up last night because it got dark and Miles was riding with me. And I was like, are you going to be cool with the top down? He goes, oh, yeah. And when we started moving, and he goes, no. And I'm like, fine. And pulled off, and I put the top up, and I turned the heater on. It was probably 38 degrees. So, of course, it's not unreasonable to want the top up and the heater on, but I didn't want it. Would I pay money for that?
Yeah. Where am I starting? I have 5.
You have 5. Oldest to newest.
Oldest to newest. I better check the year on this one.
I don't think I've said that yet.
Okay. So we're starting right here.
Are they all XJs?
Oddly enough. All right, here we go. So what we have here is a 65.
That's really far away.
Mercedes-Benz Unimog 404S for $45,000. It is a expedition vehicle, according to the ad. Specs: it is customized by Expedition Outfitters in Oklahoma.
You're in Oklahoma. You don't know shit.
Has been extensively modified.
Sorry.
Front cab has been extended behind the original seats, as well as extended vertically with a fiberglass roof hat. It's got a hat. Roof contains dual roof hatches above both the passenger and driver seats. There's also a custom snorkel system.
Is that T-tops?
So they put T-tops in it.
On it?
That extends continuously to the carb and allows around 38 inches in fording depth. Cab contains 2 custom seats, integrated modern shoulder seat belts. Behind the seats, custom locking oak gun cabinet.
Why is it oak?
Guy,
they're in Oklahoma. Are you kidding?
They like the smell in the cab of a nice oak cabinet. Entire cab insulated with Dynamat synthetic upholstery, 9-inch flat screen GPS, and Android operating system with LED powered backup camera, lights in reverse, overhead LED map light. So basically, they're only talking about the cab.
Yeah,
in this entire thing.
Is there a picture of inside?
It's got Patagonias on it.
It's got Patagonias. It's got a real weird looking sleeping
That's a trailer
area too.
There's a trailer. It's like a almost teardrop, but like a toy hauler trailer that looks exactly like that you can buy.
I feel like this is a box truck box that they made the roof taller on in the back. Like they said, because they said that they did that. So yeah, here's the inside. It's carpeted. There's
maybe it was a
nothing in there.
Was it an ambulance? Is this Sean's favorite ambulance? Maybe it was like a.
Why is there a ladder?
Oh wait, that's to go outside. That's a hatch above it.
Oh, it's probably.
Oh yeah, because they've got the hatches in the roof, so you could go on the roof.
I'm out.
Because you think it was an ambulance?
No, it's too yellow.
It's too yellow. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention to the listening audience, it's bright yellow.
It is highlighter yellow.
It's like
it is.
To me, it could be a live-in awesome vehicle, and it's not, and I don't get it. Like
I would pay money for this.
I like a Unimog, but I don't.
I would. I would want to build out the back better and do continue the process, but I think it's rad as a starting point.
Seats are terrible. Tires are terrible.
It's got portals because it's a Unimog.
Yeah, portals are not.
Oh, there's the portholes right there. So it's not a T-top.
It's not T-tops. No,
it's like gunner portholes.
I was just saying. I was like, you could put a machine gun up there.
That's the wrong kind of weird for me.
It's exactly the kind of weird for me.
Oh my god!
Were those? Wait a minute.
I can't time for that.
Don't read it. Go back one. Are those seats?
What they?
Okay, no, they're not.
They look like.
For a second there, I thought they were OBS seats.
I think they're pro car seats that like you would put in like a Volkswagen or something.
All right, so it's a yes, a no, and a call-in is. Nope. It's too yellow.
Yeah, I'm out. I already don't want to drive an old Unimog, let alone that
old
bit
Unimog.
of monstrosity that's going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
I want a camper at this point. I keep thinking they're cool.
Shoot, I've got 2 that are the same year.
Find the build date. What month? If they're both the same year, whatever one has the most muted color first.
The most mute. That doesn't really work either, honestly. That doesn't work either.
Outrageous color issue?
Actually, you know what? One has a more outrageous wheel color.
There you go.
So we'll do this first.
Ooh.
Okay. So this guy is a 93 Toyota Hiace 4x4 pickup truck. Let me scroll it to a little bit better picture there.
Neat.
That must be in the LA River.
Yeah, sure is.
I don't know what it's called, but it's,
Yeah, what do they call that? What kind of river?
I believe it's the LA River. Diesel Toyota 2-liter, located in Los Angeles, clean California title. Truck has been lots of fun while owning it. I've gone through everything to ensure I wouldn't have any issues on long trips. Injection pump professionally rebuilt at 100K. Service items, including timing belt, were taken care of.
How do you think
5-speed, 4x4 low gear, external air intake for deep water. 2 huge batteries, also in extreme cold conditions, also for starting in extreme cold. Toyota Open Countries, and a lift so they fit. Bed folds down 3 ways because it's a tray bed.
Tray bed, yeah.
All you have to say is tray bed, and we know it.
Long trips. How? I mean, at a 2-liter diesel.
It's not a 2-liter, by the way. It's a 2L.
Is it a 2L?
Yeah, but it's like
the type of diesel.
It's in that same range. 2L is like the type of engine, like a 1 kc or something like that. Anyways, it's still a small displacement diesel. So
it's getting great mileage.
What kind of long? But you're doing 58 miles an hour.
No, it probably does.
Is this K-truck speeds or?
No, these are like regular full-size truck.
Okay.
I mean, it's not
a full-size truck. It's a mid-size truck.
It's not
with a short nose.
It's not going to be fast, but it'll go.
It's a van with a bed.
Yeah.
I think I want to say I would pay money for this. I think I don't dream of owning one of these, but if it came across and I was in the right position to buy it, I'd probably own it for a minute. I don't know what I'd do with it, but it's kind of cool. I don't really like van pickups very much, but this is doing it.
Yeah, I think that I also am in that same boat. If it was something like I was like, yeah, I needed something I have some reason to have it, I would want to have one. But I'm in the same boat with you there. I've never longed for one or looked at those and said, I need one of those. But I think it's on the above the line of yes.
I think it's funny. That when we were doing stuff for Yoda Imports way back when, I drove a couple of the Hiaces and I thought it'd be fun to own one of these for a minute. And I'd never seen a pickup one. So this makes me even more intrigued about the weirdness of the pickup Hiace van thing. So
yeah.
It's like a really bad 70 series.
I think I would too. As much as not a Toyota guy, I am. This is just odd enough.
It's the least Toyota that I would own. Yeah.
It's the right kind of weird.
Yeah. It could work. I could work with this, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the other 93.
Okay.
That's got wilder wheels.
Oh.
So 93 RX-7, $25,000, salvage title,
RB25,
and it's got an RB25 in it.
Weird.
That's a swap.
And 2 pictures. So
it's a different color in the second picture.
Is it left-hand drive?
Isn't it?
The UF car?
Oh no.
Yeah,
okay, it's just different lighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a slavage title.
Yeah, slavage. So
I wish they'd give me more information, but I think yes.
I'm a big FD guy. My issue is the RB because I want to have a rotary in it.
Yeah.
But the bright side is I get it, I sell the RB, and then I just put a rotary right back in.
Yeah, you make.
So
yeah.
Wow. I can unfuck that mess.
Yeah.
And make it an even worse mess.
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. The only way
probably
you
wouldn't keep the RB
more or less reliable, you put an RB in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably wouldn't keep the RB, but I would sell it, and then I'd probably,
I could almost build a really good 13B for the cost I could sell that RB for.
Definitely. Yeah. I'd probably put an LS in it too because I think
I would probably LS swap it.
Rotaries are cool and all, but they're hard to deal with. I don't want to make this because it's never about the money, but I'm curious how much money it is.
25. I said that on the front.
I missed it. Sorry, you scrolled quick.
Yeah. It's just
this is what I'd be asking for when my parents say $20,000 car that they're gonna get.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna say fuck it. Why not? It's an FD. And funny no matter what.
Yeah.
This is like,
they really are.
Would you ride the unicorn if there's a unicorn nearby? Like, well, yeah.
I mean,
I think I'd have to figure it out. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We're gonna pull this guy up. We got a 6x6 Expedition. It's a Stuart Stevenson, which we've talked about Stuart Stevensons before.
Yeah.
This is a M108 3A1
with winch.
And that's important to put in the title. Yeah. Of all the things that it's a 6x. No. That doesn't go in the title. It's got a live-in space. No. That doesn't go in the title.
With winch.
$95,000 is the price we're at.
Is a steal.
It's kind of a gray off blue.
I don't think
Sean
there's
probably thinks that's blue.
Yeah, it's blue. I don't think there's anything that could go wrong with this at this point. I think I'm in no matter what.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at this. So it's got a 3126 Caterpillar in her.
I mean,
That's
Cat and a 7-speed?
330 horsepower. No emissions or DEF. Allison 7-speed. 307 quote-unquote high-speed gears installed. Not reproductions, it says. Using real parts, no reps. Nice job, dude. Yeah. Props to that guy for that.
Factory AC.
AC.
Locker.
Detroit lockers.
Oh, yeah.
Hydraulic.
15,000 pound.
With 200
hydraulic winch
feet of cable.
Yeah.
You could really get out of a situation with that.
They can pull you into Washington.
I mean, well, and here's the thing. Like we've talked about it before. When you're in something that big, you're kind of forced to recover yourself.
Yeah.
Or you have to be recovered by something even
Also
bigger
big,
than
yeah.
you.
Or multiple things.
So it's like, that's tough when it's something that size. Like the only thing that's pulling you out is a fucking bulldozer.
When I was in the red truck, I had to have 2 people hooked together in front of me to be able to pull me over a snow berm. I know. I get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of words in here that I'm not going to read because it's a forum and there's too much.
Dad, I can't read.
It's got 2 spares.
Wait, go back to those stairs.
The stairs are,
that's
long RV stairs. Yeah. And it's got a platform in front of the door. See, he's got a little front porch.
And I like that, but also with those stairs, I would fall off of those constantly.
Oh, you need a handrail?
Well,
you need to ADA that
just
thing?
for how long they are, I'd much rather have a ladder so that I have to focus on doing it. Otherwise, I'd be like kind of climbing the stairs and fall all the time.
It's got like a house AC unit.
That is a ductless mini split. That's a legitimate mini split. That's apartment scale. Yeah. That didn't go in the title, but the winch did.
Yeah, gotta have the winch.
Pass-through.
It is a pass-through. It's a little pass-through. It might be interesting getting through that.
Well, that's what that front dome thing is. That makes sense.
So there is nothing inside.
Dang.
That's
so
like
it is
me
like ready to
in the
build
holidays.
out. But cat looks clean.
Yeah, it's the right color.
Interior's pretty clean.
Look at all
Full
those
garbage
bags.
It's got some snack bags. A
Little
lot of
feed bags.
switches. Oh man, look at all these switches.
It's like an
That's
airplane.
a 10-year-old's freaking wet dream right there. Just flap every one of those. Turn these little guys here. Oh,
So that's ignition.
Oh god.
So there's no key.
Park brake is on.
Okay.
That is military style.
Nope. I heard the
keyless
turb ski
ignition.
with a little blanket. Keep it cool. Or keep other stuff cool, I should say.
Wait, go back up one more. Hold on.
Oh, you can put the stairs at
nice.
2
On the
different
other side,
angles.
yeah.
Look at that.
That's cool.
So there you go. Now you've got a handrail. It's the truck.
Yeah, that I'm into. This is better.
Central
me.
tire inflation.
Go up to the comment above this. Thanks for okay.
Interesting vehicle.
Interesting vehicle. That's one. I was like, how do you not compliment them, but also not be mean?
Fiberglass with boat deck foam on it for comfort. Oh, so you can be on the platform barefoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
and also if you have somebody pull behind,
Ladder
you can get on there easily.
Man,
It takes a lot of power to run that mini split.
oh,
Those are run on 60.
and the spares are on their own little winch letdown
yeah.
things. Because good luck getting those things up and off of there. Interesting.
At that point, if you lose a tire on that, you just get to live where you are.
Extension. That's an extension of the cab allows a giant walk-through instead of a crawl-through. Okay, so the bump in the roof of the cab is so that you can walk through the pass-through rather than crawl through it.
Used to be a gunner's turret, is what they said there.
Yeah, and it's got a big old window in it, so it lets a ton of light into. I see. Interesting. Okay. All right. As much as I don't want to drive these, I'll pay money for it because I'm going to live in it for probably the rest of my life.
I'm going to Baja in this. Yeah.
And just staying there.
Yeah. And I'm putting the machine gun back because right now Mexico is mad at us. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. If I was going to actually stay in it long term, this is a yes for me as well.
It's a hefty price to pay to still have to build out the living quarters, but you'd be hard pressed to find something better.
You pay $200,000 for a finished one.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have a winch. It's in the title.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Might not have a winch. True. All right. So last one. I feel like Mike's going to be in on this right away. So we've got a 2001 Silverado 1500. It's a HD, not a crew cab short bed. It is a single cab short bed flare side.
Oh,
Yeah.
For 8,500.
And it's a Z71.
147,000 miles. Z71.
4.8.
Great condition. No check engine
Manual.
light. And it's a manual.
Oh, it's a 4.8.
Clean title.
That's fine.
It's
got a color
200,000 on the
camper.
body, but 147 on the engine.
Okay.
Shift good, clutch good. No trades, no payments.
I know what I've got.
Not in a hurry. Hard to find shorts, but yeah. So what this basically, I saw this and it made me want to mention that I saw one of these, but not the flare side. Literally just the other day, and it is so funny how weird they look.
Yeah.
To be the 4-wheel drive, single cab, short bed.
Yeah.
It looked so funny because it still had like regular tires on it too, and it may have been lifted, so it looked awkward.
Like a roller skate?
It was like the fun, like, and you'd never see them. So it's just like it was the weirdest thing to see, and I saw this and I was like, oh, that's perfect.
I think this proportion is better with the flare side, by the way. The short bed, 4-wheel drive, single cab, for some reason throws me off more when it's a full width regular bed. This, to me, I think I could
I can't
justify
I can't get on board with the flare side.
100% no. I hate
Yeah, well, I don't like them. It just
so
the
much.
proportions fit better for me. Yeah. I'm not a flare side bed doesn't make any sense to me ever.
No.
Because all it does is take away bed space and make you look weird.
It makes sense on a truck pre-56 where it only came that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, no.
It's the PT Cruiser of truck beds. I'm
also no.
I thought for a second you might.
I'm also a no. Yeah. I'm with you there.
It's not.
It's a bit of a surprise for Mike, actually.
I would if it's useless for any of the things that I need one of these trucks for.
I don't even know if it
about useless, but
has that
it's still
much
a
less
truck.
bed space. They're just so ugly.
Yeah, I think it's mostly that.
I love when people put canopies on them too, because then the canopy's narrower than the cab, or it has that flare out thing. Like,
or they'll get the one that flares at the bottom.
That's my favorite. You're like, I bought this this smaller bed, and I want the more space on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Before we get off this, I have to show you. You might be thinking this too, but like, this is the worst version of these trucks. Let me see if I can find one. Oh yeah.
Is it just a Chevy HHR?
Hold on. Can I make it bigger? That's not making it bigger.
That's what she said.
Hold on. This is my absolute worst step-side bed trucks. You see? The Tundra.
Yes.
What on earth did they do with those taillights?
Look at that.
Who approved those taillights? Like, there's a lot wrong there.
It's the front of a PT Cruiser.
Yeah. Yeah. Only they took the hood and they put a tailgate there.
Yeah. I do have an exception, I think, to the step-side rule. I just realized it's the second generation Lightning. They don't bother me as much, like the one in Fast and Furious.
I don't know.
I can see it.
Like
everything is round.
The previous generation, though.
I mean, they're sweet.
Yeah,
it's not as pronounced as the thing. Like it's a very subtle. I mean, there is a step, so it literally is a step side. but
it looks more
it's
like
it
a
just
flare
has a flare.
kit. Yeah, on
and
the
that's
back.
and that's really it, which is why it pulls
It's a
it off.
narrow bed with a flare.
Yeah.
I see there. They don't. I think it's because they don't come all the way back before the top of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
They come back into the top of the bed.
They're
So like
still-
mom spaghetti style. So like an OBS flare side.
Yeah,
like
that's a
those
true flare. Yeah.
Those ones I think are more okay. Also, maybe just Ford does it better.